The resurrection of Jesus Christ stands as the blazing center of Christian faith, a claim so radical it either shatters history into before and after, or belongs among the many myths humanity has woven about gods and dying heroes. But when we look more closely, the resurrection doesn't quite fit the mold of mythology, nor does it submit easily to historical dismissal. What we find instead is a strange convergence, a story that resists being reduced to metaphor, yet transcends the boundaries of ordinary history. The Apostle Paul, writing only 20 years after the crucifixion, delivers a tradition of first importance in 1 Corinthians 15, that Christ died, was buried, was raised, and appeared, not just to a few, but to hundreds. This early creed, already well established in the 30s AD, shows that the resurrection wasn't a later theological invention. It was foundational, immediate, and proclaimed in the very city where Jesus had been executed. The Gospels, written decades later but still within the lifetime of eyewitnesses, depict Jesus appearing to Mary Magdalene, the disciples, and even Thomas, who demanded to touch the wounds. These encounters are not presented as dreams or visions, but as something tangible, startling, and profoundly embodied. And yet, Jesus walks through walls. He appears and disappears. He is the same but other. His body is no longer subject to the old laws of biology. What kind of body is this? The early Christians didn't merely believe Jesus had come back to life. They believed something new had happened, a resurrection into a transfigured state, a down payment on the future renewal of the world. Skeptics have long compared Christ's resurrection to myths of dying and rising gods, Osiris, Tammuz, Dionysus. But those are seasonal cycles, tied to vegetation and fertility rites. They happen again and again. Jesus' resurrection is once, unrepeatable, and radically historical. It is not about the soul escaping the body, but the redemption of the body itself, a vision rooted in Jewish eschatology, not pagan cosmology. The early church was born not from philosophical reflection, but from an explosion of witness, of men and women who claimed to have seen the risen Christ, and because of that, were willing to die rather than recant. To say Christ is risen is to say something about all of reality. Death, long imagined as the unyielding end, has been pierced. The early Christians didn't argue for immortality. They proclaimed that a new creation had begun in the very flesh of the crucified. In Christ, time split. The future invaded the present. What began as a quiet dawn in a borrowed tomb became the axis of history. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.